Welcome now the ranking member of the House Committee on Homeland Security. He is Congressman John Katko of New York. So, Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. You know a lot about this. You've pursued this a lot. What is going on? It seems like the pace is picking up, not dying away.
Well, I think the pace of the cyber attacks are picking up, but also the intensity and the complexity of them, and the ultimate price that they're asking, the bad guys are asking us to pay in the ransomware is coming up. So all those things are converging. It's a very troubling trend. We started with the pipeline attack, was a $5 million ransomware attack. Then you had the beef industry attack, which was $11 million. Now the Casilla attack, which was $70 million ransomware attack. This is all within a matter of a few weeks of each other, and we've got a lot of work to do to try and get a handle on what's going on.
Let me come back to Russia, because we all watched as President Putin had his meeting with President Biden over in Switzerland, and reportedly President Biden really put down a marker, including giving a list of critical infrastructure that they should not have attacks on. What should he do to follow up on that? Because he certainly has made it pretty clear to President Putin that he doesn't want this to continue. Is there anything we can do to discourage him?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, before I came to Congress, I was a 20-year federal organized crime prosecutor dealing with the worst of the worst. Bad people only understand strength. And if we don't project strength now, we are going to be paying a heavy price and continuing to pay heavy price going forward. There has to be very serious consequences. And we cannot say that it wasn't the Russian government. There's no question in my mind that these bad actors in Russia that are doing these sophisticated attacks are at a minimum dealing with tacit approval from the Russian government, or they're doing it with their imprimatur. Either way, we've got to send a very strong, and even if it's a disproportionate message to Russia, that we're not going to tolerate this. And unless we do that, we're going to continue to have these attacks.
We had the Russian ambassador to the United States, Mr. Antonov, on Balance of Power just a couple of days ago. We asked him about this, and he said, well, I'm not sure they did come from Russia. We're not sure about that, but we're willing to sit down with the United States and really work this out. Is there any future for bilateral talks between the United States and Russia over this?
So what are the bilateral talks going to consist of? Don't do it, right? The President of the United States sat down with the head of Russia and said, we can't have this anymore. You got to stop this. And then, of course, we've had these attacks since that meeting. And by the way, the Casilla attack was perhaps the most sophisticated and far-reaching attack yet. It didn't attack just one business. It attacked over 1,500 businesses that had the Casilla IT software. And because of that, it's a force multiplier for the bad guys. So, you know, the word didn't get through to the Russians. I can't stress enough. We need to have, on the deterrent side, we need to have a strong response from the United States, which we haven't seen yet. But we also have to encourage and change a paradigm with respect to ransomware attacks by getting corporations better prepared and hardening their systems on the front end. We hear so much about them hardening their systems after they're attacked. We need corporations to invest on the front end and work with us at CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, and others to invest on the front end, to harden their systems, to work with us, to help finding the trends and make it difficult. And also, most of these ransomware attacks are paid with cryptocurrency. The FBI is starting to crack that code, and we need to be very aggressive in going after the money trail and making it more and more difficult for them to get paid for the ransomware attacks. If we don't flip the paradigm, this is going to continue. And if we don't have more deterrence, it's going to continue.
I was going to ask you about the ransomware, because it seems like we're getting used to the idea that people, in fact, will pay the ransom, which I guess would be only encouraging to people who want to have future attacks. But does the fact that they get it through crypto make it easier to track the money? And is there a sense in which we're better off that it's going through crypto?
Well, most of the ransomware attacks are paid by crypto, and up until recently, we haven't been able to follow the money trail. It's very difficult. Now, it's getting, we seem to have been able to make some headway in that regard. But as far as paying the ransomware, we strongly believe that paying the ransomware is just going to make this matter worse. It's like what the FBI recommends with respect to kidnappers. The same thing. If you pay the ransom, they're going to continue to do it, and there's no one them not to. So we that except for the most extreme circumstances, we should be. In order to do that, we've got to, like I said, we've got to go after the money trail better, and we've got to convince corporations to invest on the front end. If your computer information officer isn't in the C-suite, and you have a company that's growing or is significant in size, well, you're making a colossal mistake. Cybersecurity is a preeminent threat to our country right now, and corporations have to recognize that and not hope that they're not the next victim. Assume that they're going to be the next victim and prepare accordingly.